sometimes maybe if it's Heino going in for it needs to be the right spot as well. Although he's been pretty good at playing in different spots. So, but in general, we'd rather move him in with the second or third line than maybe in bleed spot. But Nordstrom's progressing, so he's an option as well. We'd like to get him back in the mix because through no fault of his own, really, he had to miss a few games here. So that'll be the sort of what the thought process is, whether we do anything or not.
Do you know, is Nordy going to go with you?
Yeah, he's going to travel with us.
Yeah. So he could be an option tomorrow.
He could be an option tomorrow. I'm not saying he will be available, but he's going to travel.
Coach, how easier has Z made your job since you came here?
Well, as a coach on the ice, that part of it is great. I mean, all the coaching staff, have some experience playing the game. So it's not like we're neophytes or anything like that. But we're not in the trenches every day. So having a guy out there that can, pass on the little details to guys or live through, recognize their struggles, is a lot easier than it coming from us, when it comes from a teammate. So that's the biggest advantage you have when you have a guy that takes pride in being a student of the game like Z and carrying that message. So, and then the bigger picture is we are rarely not on the same page. There's always going to be, why we do, but everything's discussed with Z, Bergie, the veteran guys, and it helps that, what starts at the top, it doesn't get lost in translation on the way down. So he's been excellent at that. And his ability to play and perform has been good. He does what he's asked. The only issue we ever had was at first was power play time. We discussed that, why we were doing it. And Z, to his credit, never, he wanted to be a part of it, understood the decision, and has never made it an issue.
Do you remember when you were coaching the Capitals? Do you remember coaching against him then? And we're going back, but
was he in Ottawa or Long Island then?
I think he was
Ottawa.
still. Was he Ottawa?
Yeah.
Ottawa in
Okay.
2003.
Yep.
Yeah, he had just gone there.
That probably answers your question. I was probably more concerned about our own guys. I'm not going to lie, the whole league was new to me.
Yeah.
So every team had players so back then, of course, you knew the top end guys. But some of the guys like Z he was actually probably farther along, so I probably would have remembered him. But some of the guys just starting out, you're still trying to get to know, what their tendencies are.
It's been It's been a different kind of season for John Moore. Just how do you think he's handled it from, the off season and then being in and out of the lineup until now?
Well, he's handled it in terms of a teammate, excellent. He's a great kid. He works hard. There is no maintenance in that part of it. There's discussions on why. He's like every other player. If I'm not playing, why? What do I need to do? As for how he's handled the year, his play has been, I'd say, sometimes inconsistent, but what's worked against him is him and Grizz have not had the best chemistry on the ice. And that's kind of where he got slotted into, because the other pairs are, basically repeated from last year. So that's where the challenge has been for John. Maybe have to change his game a bit to play with Grizz, and Grizz the same to be an effective pair. Grizz seems to play better with a guy that can end plays and put out a lot of fires quickly, so we're not spending a lot of times on our end. So that's the message we've tried to get to John. It'd be a little more of that, and Grizz as well. But it is what it is when you're 5'9" and 170. Sometimes you get in those battles. He's got his strengths and weaknesses like every other player. So that's where Johnny, we've tried to get him up, to grab onto that type of play so that he could keep a spot in the lineup.
Is Cliffy in the mix now? Will he be on the trip?
No, he will not go on the trip. He will have Monday is, I think, is a day off and back-to-backs. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. So Tuesday will be a full practice. He'll be back with us then. So Wednesday could be, is a lot more of a possibility, or the weekend. We might even wait all the way to Saturday to give him the extra couple of days.
Thank you.
Thank you.